guys, welcome to another Top Table Wargaming video. This is a preview video rather than a review video, should we say. And we're going to be quickly talking about a new game from a company called Massive Awesome, which is being released on Kickstarter in the next couple of weeks. The game's called Shattered Earth. We were lucky enough to have a chap called Simon Barlow pop down to our club in Altrincham to give us a demo night, and yeah, basically it's got my attention straight away. This game looks awesome. I'll tell you a little bit about the game and the background and factions, etc. And then in future videos we're going to be playtesting the rules. They're still in the alpha stage, so we at the club will be playtesting the rules. May even film a few bat reps just to see if we can work up a bit of interest, really. And yeah, you can let us know what you think and any suggestions or anything like that. So onto the game. Shattered Earth is set on Earth. It's set decades into the future, and it's set after a series of really explosive natural disasters have taken place, and basically changed the face of the planet as we know it. The first sort of rulebook that you get is set 30 years after the final natural disaster, which was known as the End of Days. So all this, the storyline is based around that, and sort of mankind's in a space where the natural disasters have happened and all the changes on the planet have happened. 80% of the population's gone, and they've sort of just started to find their feet and make alliances. And moving on, so it's not directly after where no one's going to know what's going on. There are some sort of new governments, etc. being set up. Again, like I say, the layout of Earth has changed. The natural disasters caused a lot of floods and oceans to rise. So some countries and parts of the planet which were sort of on ground are now underwater and gone. The tectonic plates have shifted. So the actual layout of all the countries and continents has changed. Countries that were once rivals have now been put sort of next to each other and are sort of working together, etc., which is quite interesting. The factions that you're able to play with, the first one, probably the most common one in the game, will be the United Nations of Mankind. This is based on an alliance between USA and Russia, the two major superpowers on the planet. They've come together and formed this sort of one alliance, and they have really cool miniatures from what I've seen. You've probably seen some on the Facebook group. I'll try and post some in at the end of the video for you to have a look at. And they're like men, sort of a really sort of military outfit, very organised. Assault rifles, shotguns, pistols, grenades, heavy artillery, that kind of weaponry. And then you have another faction called the Cult of the Dragon. Now, the Cult of the Dragon is quite a rich background. I'm not going to go too much into it on the video, but basically one of the other factions, when the United Nations of Mankind came about, was sort of the Pan-Asian Alliance, where a lot of the other countries sort of merged together, and the Cult of the Dragon was sort of grew from there and kind of became the Pan-Asian Alliance became the Cult of the Dragon. It's led by a playable character in the game called Lee Kyung-min, who has very unique attributes and special abilities, which again I'm not going to go into too deeply. I will do in another video. But the miniatures for the Cult of the Dragon are probably my favourites to look at. Theme wise, not my favourites, but the models are awesome. Really nice models. You'll be bowled over when you see them, especially when you see the expert paint jobs that Simon's had done. Just amazing. One of the other factions is Children of One True God. What this is kind of your I wouldn't say religious fanatic type thing, but you sort of merge all the religious groups into one, so Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, everything, They all kind of, obviously with everything that happened, religion and keeping contact with these religious beliefs became difficult, and I think it was, if I remember correctly from the sort of the story behind it, there was one woman who came and said she was like a follower of this one true God, and she got everyone together, so they all kind of came together and, you know, sort of left behind all the fighting and everything that they've done over the, you know, past 2,000 years, and became sort of followers of this one true God. So yes, that's another faction. One of those is the Deathless. Now, the Deathless is a funny faction to try and explain, because there's not much known about it yet, and again it's going to be another one of those things that, as the game expands and different chapters are released, we'll learn more and more about it. Basically what it is, the Deathless have sort of come from these loopholes and gateways that have opened since all these natural disasters, and they are like creatures from that mankind sort of recognise from myths and legends and nightmares, basically. And the story behind these is a cool one. With these gateways that have opened, sort of it's a parallel world running alongside ours, and depending where you are on the planet and where these gateways are and the things that come out of them, totally depends on what you see. So, for instance, myths in one part of the world might not exist in another part of the world. So with the gateways in that part of the world, the things that are coming out are like creatures from the myths of that part of the world. I'm probably not explaining that very well, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. And it's kind of, it leaves you thinking, well, has this parallel world always been there? And these myths and legends are where us as humans have dreamt or seen sort of through the keyhole at this other parallel universe, and that's where they've come from? Or are these things that we've created in our mind, and the energy's coming through and sort of metamorphosising itself into the images of what our nightmares and myths, etc. are? So that's sort of for you to think about, and it's an interesting twist on the story. There is another faction called the Human Rebellion. Pretty much is what the heading suggests. They were all part of the United Nations of Mankind, and there was like a civil, not civil war, but you know, it was sort of part of it branched off, didn't agree with what the Americans and Russians wanted to achieve. Excuse me. And they set out and set up another faction of their own. They seem to be quite happy to embrace this new power that's coming through these loopholes. There's a force called Ether which comes through, or Ether, however you want to say it. It's coming through these loopholes, which is you can actually get it and store it in different ways and use it. It's an energy source, so it can power things, and it has big influence on the game. They sort of kind of become objectives, these ether reserves, and you can use them for your different characters and get different abilities by collecting ether in the game. So that's the factions. Will there be more factions in the future? I don't know. Simon's not mentioned it, but I think there's plenty there to be getting on with. We see in the miniatures. Miniatures are one of the things, I think, in a new game that get your attention. And I'm more of a fantasy player. Obviously, as you know, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit is my main game. But you know, anything to do with swords, axes, fighting, castles, you've got my attention. So the futuristic stuff's not really my forte. I'll dabble in it, but it's not really what I'm into. So when I knew Simon was coming down to the club, I'll be totally honest with you, I was like, yeah, I'll have a look. But literally within 10 seconds of seeing the miniatures, just seeing or listening to Simon give me a much better rendition of that background than what I've just gave you, I was really interested. We played a demo game and had tons of fun. Didn't really know what we were doing, but even though we didn't know what we were doing, it was great fun. And yeah, I can't wait to give it another go. So that's the first video that we're going to do for this. I think the next video what we'll do is we'll talk about possibly a demo game or looking at the miniatures. Simon is going to donate a copy of the miniatures to the club, which will get painted up and we'll start using demo games. But for the time being, so we don't have to hang around and we can get stuck in, I'll be using proxies or cutouts, cardboard cutouts. I'm also going to put in the description below links to the alpha rule set, so you guys can have a look at it. There's everything you need there to get playing, which is cool. And yeah, any suggestions or things that jump out at you, let us know. Yeah, comment on the video. People again tend to message me directly on Facebook, which is fine. Don't have a problem with it. But if we get some comments and a bit of conversation going in the videos, that'll do the world of good for my channel. So yeah, let me know what you think of this game. Let me know your first thoughts. Let me know if you've heard of this game. Let me know if you're interested in kickstarting it, and you know, we'll go from there. So I'll see you in the next video. Keep on gaming, guys, and take care.